Okay, so we're back at kind of the tail end of the demo, and you'll notice that I kind of populated it with the rest of the typography, the rest of the text. And I'm just trying to build hierarchy, right? Like something has to be big and something has to be little, and something has to be white and something has to be black. There has to be, a range of values and sizes in order to make something look balanced, right? And you kind of adds a kind of visual interest by having things in different sizes. So you can see here that there's the Duran Duran, a band from Britain, American tour. We're putting this divider line between each row of type, and I can do that kind of easily. Once I make one of them, I can Command C to copy, Command F to paste in place, and then I'm Shift clicking and then just kind of dragging it down. And I can use my up and down arrows, right, and click on anything and use the up and down arrow to kind of help, position it a little bit better. And then you'll notice that at the bottom it says live show, and I've done the word live, and all I have to do is copy Command C, paste in place Command F, and then I can just kind of like click and holding down the shift key, I can drag the word live over, and then I double click inside of it, and then I can just type in the word show. Like it's kind of a fairly quick and easy way to like make that other type block, that text block. And then in the middle, there's the word rock and roll. It's much smaller and it's not a decorative typeface. It's in Helvetica, just as a way to create that hierarchy again, right? And then uh, kind of maybe a more interesting way to deal with separating August from live show is we're going to add two thinner rules, right, to kind of like separate rock and roll from the rest of it. So I just used that line segment tool, right, and I just clicked and held down the shift key and drug a line over, and then I'm just going to basically create a line that's maybe not as heavy as the rest of the lines. It kind of give us an opportunity to have some hierarchy in the lines. And then I just have to click Command C to copy, Command F to paste in place, and then I'm just going to click and then drag down. Um, and so kind of that's kind of the basis for kind of adding the rest of the typography. And maybe there's a way to like add a little more interest if I made the type like slightly different colors or going from dark to light. And if I just kind of zoom out, there's kind of a nice balance. Kind of the last thing that you could do that could be kind of neat is if I click on this top um, image and I copy it, Command C, and I paste it in place, Command F. And I'm just going to drag it over to the side. So the three images are still there. I just made a copy. And if I have the fill as the focus, it's on top of the fill and line, and then I just choose white. I filled this with white, right? And there could be kind of an interesting way to drag part of this image onto where the bottom text is, and I'm just going to go Object, Arrange, and bring it to the front. And if I kind of zoom in on that so you guys can see what's happening, it starts to kind of create this interesting idea of like non-perfect type, right? Like you can see there are maybe scratches or skids where the type has gotten bumped together with the posters are bumped together. It just kind of creates an interesting kind of look and feel. It's not perfect. And then it also is kind of interesting because you kind of see a person's feet, right? Or you see one of the riders overlaying the type. And it's kind of interesting in that sometimes misprints or unusual effects that go on when you're doing lo-fi printing. It just kind of helps break you out of Illustrator wants everything to be very cold, and the Illustrator doesn't want to show the hand, but this is a way to kind of show the hand and the person who created the poster. I can click on the type from Britain and I can go Object, Arrange, bring it to the front, and then the other interesting thing is that is now with this one piece of artwork to create this interference, but I'm able to kind of like use my stacking order, top, bottom, to kind of create interesting kind of hierarchy, right? So these are affected by it, but the From Britain is not affected by it. And I think that can be a really kind of interesting way to look and, to work. And when you print this out, of course, obviously anything off the pasteboard is not going to print, but, it just kind of is another way to bring the negative space inside the poster.